In a quiet cottage at the edge of a great forest, a poor countryman sat by the hearth one evening. Beside him, his wife worked at her spinning wheel. The house was silent, too silent. "How dull it is," the man sighed, "to have no children." His wife paused. "Yes, if we could only have one. Even if he were no bigger than my thumb, I would love him with all my heart." As fate would have it, their wish was granted. A child was born to them, perfect in every way, but he was exactly the size of his mother's thumb. They named him Tom Thumb. Despite all their care, Tom grew no taller, yet what he lacked in height, he more than made up for in wit. One morning, Tom's father prepared to go into the forest to hew wood. He muttered, "I wish I had someone to bring the wagon to me later." "Father," piped a tiny voice, "I will bring the wagon." The father laughed. "How can you? My boy, you are too small to even hold the reins." "That doesn't matter," Tom replied. "Mother just needs to harness the horse. I will sit inside its ear and whisper directions." When the time came, the mother placed Tom in the horse's ear. The tiny driver began to shout, "Jeep, gee-wo! Left, now right." To any onlooker, it was a miracle. The horse trotted down the road with purpose, pulling the heavy wagon. As they turned a corner, two strangers passed by. They stopped, watching a driverless wagon navigate the path. "Look at that!" one exclaimed. "We must follow it." The strangers followed the wagon into the woods. "See, father, I told you I could do it," Tom shouted. His father lifted him gently from the horse's ear. The stranger's eyes widened with greed. "That little fellow is a gold mine," one whispered. "Let's buy him." They offered the woodcutter a large sum of gold, but the father shook his head. "He is the apple of my eye. I would not sell him for all the riches in the world." But Tom, seeing a chance for adventure, whispered in his father's ear, "Father, take the money. Let me go. I promise I will be back soon." Trusting his son's wit, the father reluctantly sold him. Tom perched on the brim of one stranger's hat, and they set off. As evening fell, Tom decided he'd had enough. He asked to be set down for a moment. As soon as his feet touched the ground, he darted away and slipped into a deep mouse hole. "Good evening, masters. Go home without me." He laughed from the darkness. The men cursed and poked sticks into the hole, but they couldn't reach him. Eventually, they gave up and left. Tom crept out, but the night was dangerous. He found an empty snail shell and crawled inside. Just as he was drifting off, he heard voices. Two men were plotting nearby. "How shall we rob the rich parson of his gold?" one asked. "I can tell you how," Tom shouted. The thieves jumped, terrified. Tom emerged and explained his plan. "I am small enough to crawl between the iron bars of the parson's window. I can hand out the gold to you." Thinking him a magical elf, the thieves agreed. When they reached the parsonage, Tom squeezed inside. But he had no intention of helping them. He began to shout at the top of his lungs. "Do you want everything that is here?" "Hush," whispered the thieves. "You'll wake the house." Tom pretended not to hear and yelled even louder, which woke the cook in the next room. The thieves, panicked, fled into the night. The cook searched the room but found nothing, for Tom had already hidden in the barn among the hay. At dawn, a maid entered the barn to feed the cows. She grabbed a massive armful of the very pile where Tom was sleeping. Before he could wake, he was scooped up and tossed into the mouth of a large cow. "Help! I'm in a mill," Tom cried as the cow's giant teeth ground the hay around him. He narrowly avoided being crushed and slid down into the cow's stomach. "It's dark in here," he grumbled. "They forgot to put windows in this room." To make matters worse, more hay began to pile up. Tom began to scream, "No more hay for me! No more hay!" The maid, who was milking the cow, nearly fell off her stool. "The cow is talking," she shrieked, running to fetch the parson. The parson, believing the cow was possessed, ordered it to be slaughtered. The cow was killed, and its stomach containing Tom was thrown onto a dunghill. Tom struggled to claw his way out, but just as he poked his head through, a hungry wolf prowled by. In one gulp, the wolf swallowed the stomach whole. Even inside the wolf, Tom did not lose his courage. "Ekadate, Mr. Wolf, I know where you can find a feast that will satisfy you for a week." "Where?" growled the wolf, startled to hear a voice from his own belly. Tom described his father's house, mentioning the storeroom filled with bacon, cakes, and sausages. Greedily, the wolf ran to the cottage and squeezed through a narrow drain into the pantry. He ate until he was bloated and round. When he tried to leave, he was too fat to fit back through the drain. This was exactly what Tom had planned. He began to dance and shout inside the wolf's stomach, making a terrible racket. "Be quiet," the wolf hissed. "You'll wake the people. I don't care." Tom yelled, "You've had your feast. Now I'll have my fun." The noise woke Tom's father and mother. They rushed to the pantry with an axe. Ennis, seeing the wolf, the father raised his axe. "Father, father," Tom cried. "I am here." "I am inside the wolf." The father lowered his axe in shock and joy. "Heaven be praised. We have found our child." He struck the wolf a fatal blow. Then, using scissors, they carefully slit open the wolf, and out stepped Tom Thumb. "Oh, the trouble we've had," the father cried, hugging his son. "And I, father," Tom said, "have seen the world. I've been in a mouse hole, a snail's shell, a cow's stomach, and a wolf's belly. But from now on, I think I shall stay at home." The parents kissed him and bought him a new suit of clothes, for his old ones were quite ruined. They promised they would never part with him again, not for all the kingdoms in the world. And so the tiny hero lived happily with his parents, proving once and for all that greatness is not measured in inches, but in the strength of one's spirit. If you like this video, please subscribe and like it so we can make more videos like this. Thanks for watching.